Okay, welcome to my look at the Melbourne Cup, which is on Tuesday, the 5th of November. I've got the Betfair market up here, but I'm going to run through a slideshow for everyone. Basically, for those who don't know, the Melbourne Cup is a Group 1 race that always has up to 24 horses. It's a very large field. There's generally between 21 and 24 horses that end up running. We may get some scratchings between now and tomorrow or Tuesday. And it's over 3.2 kilometres, 3,200 metres, which is a fairly long race when it's not a jumps race. Now, the prize money for this is 8.56 million, and one of the most important things about this race is everybody in Victoria gets to have a public holiday to actually go to the races and watch the race and just celebrate the day, which is great. So I'm going to go through my assessment of the Melbourne Cup for 2024. So just quickly talking about how do I assess the horses. I'm going to look at them pretty much from past winner characteristics, such as you don't want to back anything over a 8-year-old. You want them to be less than $16 in their last start. You want them to generally be below $21 in their race today. And you want a win percentage, without not too high, but you don't want them to have won at more than 6 races. There's all these different things that people have looked at for the Melbourne Cup and have allowed trainers to target the Melbourne Cup with these characteristics. And they seem to point to some of the winners. So I'll be looking at a few of those. I'll also be looking at some simple systems that are out there that, while they do select quite a few horses, they tend to hit the winner. They'll be things like back everything that's got a 40% place history for their career, things like that. And I'll also be looking at a number of ratings, which is where I will concentrate the most on. So I'm going to look at quite a few ratings, and those ratings will guide what I think on most of the horses here. And at the end, I will give out what I think you should be backing, what you should be laying, and if you want to have some fun, a first 4 combination that's quite wide, and I'll let you narrow it down further. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to, as I said, for each horse, I'm going to talk about where it will likely finish, should you back it, lay it, and should it be included in the first 4. So let's get started. So Vauban is the number 1 top weight in the race. It's got a price of $7, which is fairly short. It's the favourite in the race. Favourites don't tend to do very well in the Melbourne Cup, not because they're the favourite. It's just generally they're still out at that $7 to $10 mark. So they're only going to win one in every 7 to 10 years. So if we have a bit of a look at the ratings here, the way I've done the ratings is the amount of points from the top rater for the race. So when I've got the tab -5, that means Vauban is 5 points off the top rater. So when we're looking at the TAB rating, we want to look for horses that are within 20 points. For the racing and sports rating, we want to look for horses that are within 7 points. The time, class, and weight ratings, again, you want those to be within 20 points. And then I've got 2 of my ratings down the bottom. You generally want it to be the top or only -1 away. So for Vauban, you can see here, he's rated pretty much okay in everything except for the racing and sports, where it's got a -8. And in my rating, he's got a -2 for the first rating. So I've done 2 ratings using 2 different methods. So I don't see him winning. I see him as something that you Would probably want to put in a first four to come second, third, or fourth. Look, he's better than average. That's why he's their favourite. But is he the top horse that I would want to back if I could only back one horse? Definitely not. I don't think he should be the horse to go with. So definitely put him in your exotics. If you want to save a bet, if you are going to Dutch, it's always worthwhile including the fave. He's a fave for a reason. That's likely all I can say about Footborn. So Buckaroo, definitely one of the top contenders. His price is $7.60, second favourite in the race. You can see he has topped the tab, the time, the class, and the weight rating, and has topped one of my ratings. So definitely a main contender. Definitely worth backing, including in your first fours. The racing and sports being a -4 is definitely within the rating that you'd want. So definitely one that you should be backing. Probably the top contender. Definitely at $7.60 is a little bit short, but there's a few others at slightly better prices that are top contenders as well. But I wouldn't be leaving Buckaroo out of anything that you are looking at. Then we got Circle of Fire. Now, he was my pick early on, months ago, but just hasn't seemed to go on like I was hoping. So if we look at the tab rating, it's outside those 20 points. So it's pointing at he's not going to win. And he has got a price of 44, which again, pointing at the public not thinking that it's going to win. Anything over $50 generally will not win the Melbourne Cup. The racing and sports rating is -11. You want it to be 7 or less, so that's too high. And the class rating is pushing it out there at -20 as well. My ratings are -4, pretty much marks him as not worth doing. So he's probably worth a lay at that $44. It's not one that I would be backing at all. He's probably, if you look at the horses, he's probably about average in this class of horses. Not likely to win. Definitely could be there for second, third, or fourth, though. Then we've got Warp Speed as the number 4. Again, hasn't hit the tab rating that we want, hasn't hit the rating and sports rating we want. Almost out of the class and weight ratings, and he's got a -5 on one of my ratings, which completely puts him out of the loop as well. So definitely another lay at $34. So the market doesn't think he's got much of a chance, about a 3% chance. I would even say he's worse than Circle of Fire. So I would put him only in third and fourth. I think he's poor in this race. I'd put him in that kind of rating if you need to put him into a bucket. So Kovalika, I'm assuming that's how you say the name, has hit the tab rating, but it's missed the rating and sports rating, but it's hit all the other ones. The one which is a big miss on mine is a -5 again for my first rating. Again, it's out at $27. Given it's had a -5 on mine, you could have it as a saver bet, given that it's under the $30 mark. But I'd be laying it, to tell the truth, and first four, second, third, and fourth. I don't see it winning. It's probably one that's in the better than average class for the race, but not one I'd be backing. So Sharp and Smart is number 6. It's missed on the tab rating, and it's missed on my first rating with a -3, but it did top my second rating. And it's kind of hit in all of the other ratings there, but its price is $80. Given it was one of my ratings tops selections, it could be a bit of a saver bet that you might want to put in there just in case. I don't think it's going to win. I'd be looking at it pretty much as first fours for second, third, and fourth again, and staying out of the win. Number 7, Just Fine. Just creeps in with the tab rating, misses out on the racing and sports race rating where we want a -7, and misses out on both the class and weight ratings there. And if you look at my first rating, it's a -3, which pretty much means it doesn't have much of a chance. Public doesn't think it's got a chance at $60, worth a lay. And again, I'd be putting it third or fourth in the first fours at most. Number 8, Land Legend. Now, Land Legend is one that I actually do like, even though the racing and sports figure is a -9.5, suggests it won't get there, and my first rating is -2. Did top my second rating method. It is $22, so $22 is well within a price of winners. I would say it's probably one of the main contenders. I would say, based on its form, it looks like it's one of the better horses in the race, and positioned as such, I would be backing it and putting it in all of the first 4 positions. We've got number 9, Absurd. It's missed the tab rating, it's missed the racing and sports ratings. The others, it's kind of come in okay. It is a price of $12. That seems a little bit low for me. I don't really see it as one of the better horses in the race. I'd say it's above average, but not one that I would expect to win. So I'd be going second, third, and fourth in the first 4s. Okay, Athabaskan. It's missed the tab rating. It's missed the racing and sports rating kind of just. And it's missed my first rating, but the others are generally okay. And it's topped my second rating. Now, again, it's at $70 with my second rating. I'd probably just ignore it, given it's out above the $50 price. The public doesn't like it at $70. So I'd rule it as not really having a chance. And I looked at the form. I don't think it's going to win. I'd put it in second, third, or fourth in the first 4s. Knight's Choice, number 11. The price is $220. I don't know if I need to say more than this. It's missed pretty much most of the ratings. It's not going to win. It's $220 for a reason. When it's $220, you've got a choice to lay it or just ignore it. At best, I'd put it in third and fourth positions on your first 4, but realistically, it's got no chance. I probably would leave it out of your first 4 completely. Number 12, Otaki Sushi. Now, I like this horse. Price is $23. You look at the ratings, it's hit all of the ratings. It's topped both of my rating methods. So my first rating method is where it looks at the characteristics of the Melbourne Cup. My second rating method uses the simple systems on top of some form analysis. So this one is definitely a top contender. You want to be having it in all positions in your first 4, and I'd be backing it. If I had to pick a horse, this may be the one I pick. Definitely at 23, I think it's over the odds of where it should be. The other horse that I do like is number 13. It topped both my rating methods again, and again it's hit all of the other ratings where we would like them to be. So tab under 20, racing and sports under 6, and the time, class and weights under 20. So again, it's a main contender. The reason I would take Otaki Sushi over this one is price. At $8.60, it's fairly low. It's probably about the right price for it. Definitely one of the main contenders. Have it in all of your first 4 positions. Okay, Sardozi. Sardozi's an interesting one. Definitely hits, again, most of our ratings. The first rating I had was a -3, which kind of rules it out a little bit. So I don't think it's going to win, but it's definitely got a chance. While it's unlikely to win, I'll probably put it in the second, third, fourth. I may end up putting it in as a saver bet. I think the other ratings overrule it a little bit. And it will probably go into my Dutch when we are backing. So I probably would back this one at the $18 mark. I think it's a good price at 18, given the ratings that I'm seeing there. Next one's Seeking. Again, this one is rated really, really well. Definitely a contender. can win. It's $12. It's probably about the right price. Just missed out on being the top tab rating. It is the top racing and sports rating, and it's well within the time, class, and weight. And it was one of my top ratings as well. I'll be definitely backing this in a Dutch bet. Number 16, Valiant King. Price is $100, so pretty much doesn't have a chance. Let's look at the tab rating. It's above the 20. The racing and sports is almost double what you want. It's almost out of where you want for time, class, and weight. And my first rating of a -5 just completely eliminates it. So I'm putting it in the poor category here with a no chance. The price at 100 is probably a good price to lay. Number 17, Fancy Man. It's missed on the tab rating. It's missed on the racing and sports rating. It's missed on time, class, weight. It's missed on both my ratings. It's a clear lay. It's a very poor horse. It's got no chance. 190 is probably too cheap for it. It probably should be 300, 400, maybe even higher. I do not see that horse being in the first four at all. At best, it may get into the fourth position. Interpretation. I know quite a few people like this horse. The price is $21. I think that's way too short for it. It's just within the tab and racing and sports ratings, but it's missed the time, class, and weight. And it's missed on my ratings only just. I don't think it will win. I think it's unlikely, but it's a second, third, or fourth kind of contender for the first four. Manzois is number 19. Again, a price of 120. It's a clear lay when you look at those ratings. The only rating there that would fit within what you would hope for it to be a winner is a racing and sports one because it's within the 6 points. But all the rest show it's not got much of a chance. So at 120, again, I'd clearly lay that one, only put it in the fourth position. I don't think it is going to win. Number 20, Mostly Cloudy, $150. Let's look at all the ratings. Terrible is all I can say. Weights -23, tabs -26, racing and sports it's missed. It's missed both of my ratings by more than a point. It's a clear lay, $150. Just, again, I don't see it being in there. If you want it in the first fours, put it in the fourth position. Don't put it in the first three. I don't see it hitting there. I could be wrong, but the ratings don't suggest it can be a contender. Positivity, another $150 chance. Now it's come within the tab rating. Missed a few of the other ratings. I've got a -3 as my first rating. Racing and sports is a -11. The weights a -20. I think this is a clear lay as well, but it could sneak in the third position if it has a good run and gets lucky. So again, it's more of a lay than anything else if you want to have a position on it. St. George, number 22. Okay, so this one I've got at about an average for the race. The price is $24. I don't think it'll win. So the tab rating there is -18, starting to get out a little bit. But the -2 on my first rating kind of suggests it's likely not to win. Definitely could sneak in there. You may want to have a safer bet on it. But I'd put it second, third, fourth at best. And 23, The Map. So this one's out at $60. I think this one is a clear lay. I think if I had to pick one horse that I wanted to lay in this race, it's going to be number 23. It's a poor horse at $60. It's under the odds. There is value laying it with a tab of -38 and the time, class, and weight being such high negative values, as well as I had a -4 on my first rating. Definitely lay. I think its price will probably sneak up to the $100 mark, maybe before the race starts. It's not one I will be backing. If you want to, you could sneak it into third and fourth because it did get a -6 on the rating in sports and a -1 on my second rating, but It's one that I would probably at most put in fourth. It could sneak third. That's why I've written that there, but I just don't think it will. And the last horse in the race before we just do a quick summary, Trust in You. Its price is $200. Again, look at those ratings. Terrible. It's not got a chance. It's a lay. I would not be including it in your first four either. It will likely finish second half of the field. Can't see it winning at all. So, the main thing that people want to see, what buckets do I put these in? So, I know we went through all those ratings pretty quickly, and you can obviously pause and go back and have a look at each of these numbers and see what the ratings were, but I've bucketed them into 5 different buckets. So, good. These are the horses that I would be dutching. I think there's a good chance that they will win, or one of them will win. So, they were the ones hitting the tops in the ratings were looking pretty good. So it's 2, 8, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'd probably say 12, 13, and 2 are the ones that I really like. But definitely the others have a chance in there. Those that are a bit better than average is 1, 5, and 9. They could sneak home a win. They definitely could be in the placings because you never know. Melbourne Cup does come down to a bit of luck with 24 horses. So definitely they could fill those minor placings. Even the average ones could fill second and third and fourth. So for average, I've got 3, 6, and 22. Now we get to the poor ones. These are the ones that we're just not hitting the ratings. I don't see them winning at all. If you want to, you could include the poor ones in the third and fourth positions of a first four, if you particularly liked any of those. But then the last bucket is No Hope. So No Hope, I do not see them being in the first four. So I've got 5 horses there that you can completely rule out. I don't see how they win, not unless something drastic goes wrong in the race, which can happen. It's happened before. I just see them as being the 5 horses that will be in the second half of the field. Now, keep in mind, the horses that do come last are generally those that break down, and it can be one of our top contenders. So you don't want to be backing one horse in this race if you're looking to get a win. There's a lot of value in the Melbourne Cup. There's a lot of money going in that are keeping the prices incorrect on many of these horses, and that's because there's a lot of people that like to follow female jockeys or female horses, or they like their colours, or they've just done. There's a lot of money just going in on pools and things like that, where everyone just has a $10 bet and they get a random horse. So it's not. Don't take the prices in this race as efficient compared to other races, especially when most races, the more money that goes on a horse, the more efficient it is. That's because you've got the syndicates and the better professionals betting on the correct horses. In this race, the public's money and the fun money outweighs the bets that the professionals are making by far. So it will tend to push the odds higher on horses that can win, but also bring horses in lower than they should be, especially those long shots. As I said, those above $50 generally do not win. It does happen. It just, as you'd expect, they're only going to win 2 or less out of every 100 races. So this race only happens once a year, so don't expect it to happen very often, or maybe not even in your lifetime. So let's have a bit of a look at what my suggested bets are. I would suggest dutching the the top horses that I came up with. So 2, 8, 12, 13, 14 and 15. If you want to go a bit wider and be safe, I'd include those that are in the better than average bucket as well, which was 1, 5 and 9. You should do okay with that. You'll probably get a good 20%, maybe 15% if you include the better than average. And that's like not a bad investment to make. You definitely will be having a good chance at winning that. Now, if you don't mind laying, and I definitely do not mind laying, especially at the odds I'm seeing in this race, there's a number of horses that I would lay, and they were all the ones that fell into the poor and no hope buckets. So there's quite a few there. I won't go into all those numbers, but you can read them on the screen and you can look to lay those if you want. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to lay a $200 shot for $200. You can lay it for a liability of, say, let's say $20, and at $20 you'll win 10 cents instead of the dollar that you would get if you laid it out to the $200 if it doesn't come in. So just keep in mind there's multiple ways to de-risk yourself on those long shots. You also want to take into account, if you are betting on Betfair, the more selections you take, the less commission is actually going to hurt you on these sorts of races. So commission is based on the market, not on the individual selection. So if you were to Dutch the 2, 8, 12, 13, 14 and 15 and one of them wins, the losses on the other ones will offset the commission you have to pay on the winner, which will not normally happen if it's race to race. So taking multiple horses increases your probability of winning, and there's a fair bit of value in this race worthwhile of doing that, and that should get you a win, hopefully, with these selections. And you'll only pay commissions on your net profit on that market. Now, for those who want to have a bit of fun with the first four, looking at it, I've gone my top selections to win, and then I've gone everything except for the poor and no chance in the second, third, and fourth places. Now, that means you've got 6 in the win position. I think you've got 12 there. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 12 in the second, third, and fourth position. So it'll be 6 times 11 times 10 times 9, which I have not worked out, but 6 times 11 times 10 times 9. You're looking at 5,940 for a full bet on that. Obviously, you can say back $60 on it and you'll get 1% of the first four. The first four in this sort of race can generally be quite large. It can be 100,000 plus at times. So it's not a terrible position to take, but sometimes something does sneak in that first four. It is very hard to get. And if you don't go wide enough, you're probably not going to get it. If you just want to have a very cheap first four, then you'd probably want to take the first 6 horses I've got there, and that would be $360 for a full-size ticket. Again, if you wanted to take 10%, that would be $36. And you can place those at the TAB, but most of my bets will be going on Betfair because there's just so much value on Betfair right now on this race, and gives me the ability to lay all of these particular horses, but I may have a first four for a bit of fun. It's always a bit of fun to see if you can hit it. I may even take a position, if you wanted to go just one first four, I would go 13, 12, 2, and 8. That would be the order I would go. and they would be the top 4 that I would probably want to stick with if I was to pick 4 horses. Okay, I hope that makes it clear on what I was looking at, what I think of each horse. Final thoughts, though, it's meant to be a fun race. It's one race in the year. You're not going to make a fortune on this one race, so don't overstake it. You just want to treat it as any other race, get your stake on. You'll likely get more on this race just due to the liquidity. And I will generally have more matched on this race at odds that I want because my models will go against the public. So just keep in mind it's one race. It's one race in the day. There's many other races in the day where you can make a lot of money. There's lots of racing on for this entire week with the Melbourne Cup Carnival. It started on Saturday. You've got the Tuesday. You've got Thursday for Oaks Day, and you've got Saturday again to finish it off. It's a great week of racing to watch. Some great horses going around. Enjoy it. Just don't gamble with money you can't afford to lose. Don't overstake your positions, and just have a good time watching the races. Remember, the picks you take are your selection. These are what I'm likely to take and what I've put out there. I will be putting on definitely the lays. If I lose, I can live with the amount that I'm risking on it. If I win, great. I'll make a small amount that just adds to my overall tally. So I'm not risking a large amount on the race. It'll probably be several thousand at most. Maybe hit 5 figures, low 5 figures in total, just because there'll be quite a few models that do select horses in this race to lay. But that is well within what I would be doing on most races, and is well within the bank account that I am using for betting. So I'll leave it there. This has ran for 31 minutes, which is a lot longer than I intended it to go for. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I know a few people asked for this video, so that's why I put it out there. Hopefully it's given you something to think about, and if you disagree, that's more than happy for you to disagree. Feel free to put your thoughts in the comments on who you think I missed and who the ratings are not quite lining up correctly. It's always good to hear other people's perspectives. Punting is something where you've got to make a choice on what you want to do and back it with money. And if you're right, you'll win, and if you're wrong, you lose. So whether or not I put these up here, it all comes down to whether I'm winning money long term. And it should be the same thought pattern with you. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day betting, and thanks for watching the video.